Hey guys, it's Jeff here, and today I wanted to talk to you about one of the many reasons that I love lockpicking. And you might have guessed from my setup here, the reason is that I love puzzles. Now, I know a lot of people will talk about locks being like a puzzle, but I hope most people aren't thinking about these simple kind of puzzles. I will admit I raided my kids' room for this. Now, if you are learning just one lock, you are learning a puzzle like this. This is why many people talk about the fact you should have several locks to practice on. If you only know one lock, you're going to know its binding order. You might even, if you know it well enough, know exactly how far to lift each pin in addition to knowing what order to lift the pins in. But you only know that lock, you only know that puzzle. If, however, you're practicing with several locks, I find it to be more like a Rubik's Cube. Now, I enjoyed the Rubik's Cube before I even learned about lockpicking, but one of the things that I loved about the Rubik's Cube is that solving the Rubik's Cube is not like this simple puzzle about just knowing exactly what pieces go where and picking them up and putting them there. Instead, learning the Rubik's Cube is about learning to respond to the information that you have. I know several different patterns and I know how to use those patterns. So when I want this piece here, I know a series of patterns to go through. And for me, the same is true with the lock. I pay attention to what the lock is telling me. I pay attention to the way the pins are moving, so that way I know which pin I need to work on. Here we go, we got one side done. And by learning more locks, I learn more accurately what the lock is telling me. I learn how to read the information, how to know if I have overset a pin, how to know if I am looking at security pins. I also start to learn how to problem solve, how to figure out, is there something wrong with the lock itself? Do I need to take this lock apart and clean it in order to actually get the pins to move? These are all things that, to me, I find the Rubik's Cube and the lock to have in common. Now, as a side note, I will also say that, for the Rubik's Cube, falling apart on me here, for the Rubik's Cube, when I learned it by carrying it everywhere and fidgeting with it. I don't like to sit still. And honestly, locks allow me the same thing. As you saw in my video about my practice bag that I carry, I can carry a few locks with me. I can be working on them anytime I have some free time. And by doing that, I'm honing my skills. I'm learning more accurately how to read what the lock is telling me. But I'm always rotating through locks. I'm not just doing the same lock every time. By doing that, I am learning the skills to read the puzzle, the invisible puzzle that is the pins inside the lock. So that's just a little bit about me and the puzzle that I think that locks are, and part of why I enjoy picking locks so much. Do any of you have puzzles that you enjoy doing that's led you into lockpicking? I'd love to hear about it below. Anyways, that's what I have for today. I will talk to you guys later.